Nathan is here. He is the spokesperson for the private group and our consensus team. So it's just a tick over 300 people in there now, which is pretty crazy. And this is the squad that we've come up with. A lot of people are pretty set on their own sides and sorting them out. But I think we put this together, mate, and we're also going to reveal your team as well and go through some of the differences, which will be really cool. So thanks, Nate, for coming on, Drunk Hammer Nate, and being the spokesperson for the private group, mate. So let's quickly reveal this side while we're here, and we kick it up really up top with Horsburgh. So he's going to be a lock in this week, along with Isaiah Yo. We're going to have Metcalf, Cleary. We're going to have Tamale on the bench, currently not playing. We could, see how he goes and potentially loot, mate. But that's where we're set up for Vegas this week. How do you think that? How do you think that looks?
It's interesting. I think it's a really solid team. The only thing that I'd like to see is I like to loot Tamale only because he's got such high upside. Like he scores ridiculous scores in Reggie's. You never know, he might have a blowout. So just having that loophole available can
Mhm.
be really handy.
Yeah, definitely. And the good thing with this is obviously with 1B around the corner, we could drop one of these wing fullbacks from this setup and we could just straight swap Marzu for Brimson in that scenario if Tamale was to go good and very similar with Jack Cole, who I didn't mention there actually. He's in the 5 slot right now. So we're not married to looping in this scenario. But if something was to happen with those guys getting, 45, 50, 60, something really good, like you said, then it gives us that space to change it up. And, in the wing fullbacks at the moment, we've got Garrick, Greg Mazu, and Yongi. And then Tamale's going to be that backup. And hopefully he does keep his spot in the side, mate. What do you think of Tamale? Do you think he's going to keep the spot or will he lose it to
Ooh.
Albert?
I mean, can you really tell who's ever going to keep a spot in a sticky Ricky side?
Yeah,
Like,
it's true.
let's be honest. But
Well, what do you got? You
I
got
mean,
Hosking?
I'm backing the talent of Hosking and Tamale. Like, I think the only reason Hosking's ever been sort of dropped out is when he gets injured.
Yeah.
So you're running a risk, but the high upside is there. Like the guy can go out and score 80, 90 in any single game.
Yeah,
I can't leave that on the bench for 582K.
no, that makes sense. There's only a few guys in this league that can hit that 90 plus and he has done it twice. So that is the scary thing if you don't own him, but there's obviously plenty of, potential negatives as well with this calf and everything like
Oh yeah.
that. But is it just a purely upside play for you? You don't want to leave that out?
Um, Purely upside, but also a bit calculated when I saw that Nicholson wasn't on the bench
Yeah.
because I just see the minutes there, and when the minutes are there, both him and Horsburgh can really score. So I'd love to fit Corey in the side. I've tried. I might play around with it, but yeah, at the moment I do like what I'm seeing here.
Yeah, beautiful. And guys, Nate sent me 3 different teams. The first one was pretty solid. I was happy with that. Then I saw number 2 and I was like, oh, that is fire. And we'll go through it shortly. And number 3 was, what do you say? It was a bit poddish and it was probably a bit average to be fair
Oh, it
compared
was
to the other
terrible, but
two.
it was a full pod list, and I was like, "Can you actually do it?"
Oh,
I
that's
just
right.
wanted to know.
That's right. You're messaging me about that. But the rest of the
Yeah,
private
not a
group,
good idea.
we've got May is in there. We've got Tuolangi and Gilbert. And then we're going to fit in, Seyfarth as well. He's on the bench. It's a mid-range edge strategy. What do you think of this, mate? I'm kind of looking at it and going, well, we have Dylan Lucas in center as well, so we've got 4 guys that can cover that edge spot. Look, we probably only need 2 out of the 4 to really hit. We know that Lucas is going to be safe, but can we get 2 out of 3 of safe after Tuolangi and Gilbert to do a pretty good job? I think so, right? Do you agree?
I mean, before I watched the trials on the weekend, I was actually at the Dolphins game. I would have
Okay.
said yes, but watching Tom, he didn't get enough minutes. I think they're just bringing him back slowly from injury, hopefully.
Yeah.
But you've always got that worry that, they've got so many forwards at the moment, and Max Plath didn't play particularly well, sort of had a lot of missed tackles on that edge.
Yeah.
So it worries me that they're going to start rotating him in with Gilbert. And Tulangi was, oh man, he had one really good preseason game,
Yeah.
and then the second one was just an abomination. So it's it's a bit hit and miss for me, the two, but a lot of people are on them, so got to be something to it.
Yeah, and that's how these teams come up. Obviously, it's a majority vote, and that's where we ended up. These guys were voted by a large percentage of people. You sort of had like 60, 70 people voting for a lot of these players, and some were even more, like Terrell May and stuff. It didn't even have to put him in the poll. But the thing we got to think about as well, I think it's an important thing to note, is we do have a few mid ranges. And you look at these guys and you go, well, look, I'd really ideally like to hold a lot of these guys. We've got keepers. We do have a couple of mid ranges, and one or two of them aren't going to fire, and they're a good enough cash value that you could use them as that trade bait in sort of round two or three, which I think is something we don't think of as much. Is like you are going to be making trades across the first few weeks. So unless there's injuries, there's going to be someone that doesn't fire, but someone like Gilbert and Tuolangi, they both have the potential for 10 plus points of value. And I think that's what people are seeing. And if they don't work, then you can trade them out for sure. But they both definitely have their risks as much as, Gilbert through that middle. He looked, yeah, a pretty solid PPM. But
I didn't look terrible. It's just
yeah,
the
they're going to
minutes
get
that
eased
worry me.
back. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like
But
Tino looked awesome as well. But is he going to
yeah,
get eased back?
Tino, that if that wasn't a first round buy, I'd certainly be considering Tino.
And they butchered his price too. It's annoying. At least
Yeah,
with
they
Gilbert,
did.
they didn't put him back at 600 or something like that we have seen. But what do you
Yeah.
think on the? We've got Munster as well, guys, which is really, really cool, along with Connor Watson on the bench. And to finish it off, we've got Stafford Toa, Sandon Smith there as well with Tom Duffy. And we're going to play Tom, Seyfarth, Watson, and Munster on the bench. And yeah, they were pretty well set. Rob Toy is in the starting side, and that's everyone on this list. And I think it's cool to have a quick look at the amount of cheapies that you do have, the amount of mid ranges, and the amount of guns. So just counting that up is really, really cool. So you've seen my videos there, 350 and below. We're looking at those pure cash cows, 350 to 600 for the next level, and then 600 plus for the guns. And counting up our guns, we've got Terrell, we've got Yo, we've got Cleary, we've got Lucas for 4, and Watson for 5. So 5 guns so far. We have a host of these guys in that mid to high 500s bracket in Munster, in Horsburgh. Gilbert's at 5, and we've got Garrick at 583 as well. So we're hoping that those guys do turn into keepers. And I think the best thing to look at with these players, can they get into that gun status? We know Munster can. We know Horsburgh can. Gilbert, maybe not, but he comes with some other benefits like dual position and is
And
obviously
he's also
cheaper.
very reliable when he
Yeah.
when he starts going off. Like he gets around your 50 per game if he's playing as he should.
Yes. Yeah, it's just a question if he gets there, isn't it? And then you got Ruben Garrick, who we know can be keeper level scoring, at least in the center, maybe a little bit unders on the wing fullback side of things. And then we look in that tier a little bit lower. We've obviously got the Tuolangis, the Metcalfs. So you don't want to go too nuts on players like this. Seyfarth. So there's 3 there, and then you've got Greg Marzio at 480. So they're covering all different positions, and we know that the wing can be a little bit worrisome. So having too many of these guys on the wing at that price, just as a general point of view, is not super ideal. But those edges, if they happen to pay off and get the minutes, like Seyfarth and Tuolangi, can work out well. And then a half that's going to be the dominant half at that price is usually less worrying as well. So have a look at that in your sides, and I think that can be helpful. And then on the cheapy side of things, we've got Duffy, Cole, Tamale, Toa, Smith, Toya to make 6, which I think is oh, and then Yongi and Marmazelis that are over 300. So you've got 8 guys 350 and below. Feels like that's fairly stock standard to allow you to get some guns in and then play around a little bit in the mid range. So overall, mate, it seems that the squad, the people have made a team that's fairly well balanced with all those.
Oh
It's
yeah.
not like top heavy with guns and all cheapies. It's covering all bases now on the bench as well, and that's probably ideal to make it. When we're trying to put together trades, that it's not so difficult each week with everyone having different opinions and we need this guy and this guy.
Yeah, yeah.
That's for
It's
sure.
got a lot of mid range, which is interesting, but almost all of the mid ranges I see are high upside mid ranges.
Mm.
So it's like, even if you only hit with, say, half of them, you can trade the others out for cheapies later. And I reckon it's a good strategy. And if you're going to take a winger fullback, I mean, there's not a better winger fullback to take than Marzu, who's outside Bradman Best and Ponga, and like probably the best side of the game, you know?
The Bradman side of the game. Oh, and shout out to
Yeah.
Nikki as well. I just put out the mid-range video and all the options in the world basically, and didn't put Bradman Best in. So sorry, boss. He should be in that list. So there you go. All right, that's the people, guys. And for those that do remember when we did the Discord people's team for everyone, let me know in the comments if you remember the Justin Olam incident. I don't know if you remember this, Nath, but the boys were doing well and the gals were 100th overall. Then they took a punt on Justin Olam in the centres at about
Oh,
550k, and that's when the
oh,
season started going. New.
oh, brutal.
And
And
I think
how
the other
often have we
option,
been? How often have we been burnt by ex-Storm players at a new club?
yeah, well, apart from Hines, I suppose.
Yep. Yeah, yeah. Apart from Hines, I'll give you that.
What did he become instant mid 60s or 70 or something, which was
Oh,
crazy. But yeah,
absolutely
I'm
perfect.
I'm pretty sure at that time there was two options. It was Olam and someone else, and the other guy went on to average 50 plus, and I think like would have pushed us in the top 50. So
Ouch.
it's clearly stuck in my brain, mate. But that's the people squad. Now let's compare it to yours, mate. So I want to hear you talking a little bit more now that we've got
Yeah,
through
no
all that,
worries.
and just talk us through some of the different players that you've got on the side. I see Preston and Hosking there, obviously. Talk us through that edge combo and why you've gone there.
Yeah, so basically I looked at this list as the absolute sort of nth degree high upside. Who are guys that have the possibility of scoring things like 70, 80, and not worrying if they also have the possibility to score 30. So basically going for that and went for position versatility. So there's not a position that I can't cover from
Hmm.
my bench without an issue. And yeah, I thought it came together pretty well, actually. Like, I don't have much cash left, unfortunately, which I usually like to carry a little bit. But
85.
if you're going to bankrupt the bank, why not do it? And
Go nuts,
usually I
eh?
wouldn't go Isaiah. Funnily enough, like I'm still umming and ahhing. He's so reliable, and that's awesome. But he's at his absolute peak price. Like I
Yep.
can't see him averaging more than that. So
Well,
unless you're going to take him as captain, or you're thinking that Cleary might have a bit of issue coming back from the injury, I don't know if he's worth it when you
yep.
could sort of split him into, two high upside players, or even find a bit of extra cash and even make two guns maybe.
Yeah, well, I think that's a really good topic to sit on, mate, because a lot of people are of that view, and you're sitting there with him in your side right now. What's the alternative? If you were to take him out of your side, how would you use that 865? Would you upgrade one of these cheapies? Would you upgrade a mid range? How
That's a
would you
tough
play it?
call. I would love, there's a couple of players I'd love to get in here. And if I could get them both, I'd be very interested in Munster, of course, because even coming off the surgery and that sort of a thing, like when he's come back from injury and he's been relatively healthy, he's scored like 60 odd to anywhere between 60 and 80 points. So if he can get back to like a 2022 average, that sort of thing, he's an absolute steal. So I'd love to get him in just for that ridiculous upside. But at the same time, you got a million halves. So
Yeah.
it's a tough one there. I love Horsburgh. Absolutely love Horsburgh, and it's killing me that I haven't got him in this side at the moment. So
Okay.
I'd probably replace Yo in the forwards with Horsburgh,
Hmm.
and then use the extra cash to upgrade one of the cheapies, hopefully to have enough to get someone like Munster.
Okay. That'd be close. What's that?
Yeah, it'd be tough. It'd
315.
be very close.
You'd have 350 left over. Or you could get him with 11k in the bank.
Oh, maybe I will.
Holy moly. All right, so to for the people in podcast, he's got Hopgood as well, so it's a very strong top mids and edges. So it's Hopgood, May, Watson, Yo, Preston, Hosking, Dylan Lucas in the centers. And he's gone cheap in wing fullback with Mazu, Tamale, and Yongi there. So when you looked at that, mate, did you look to go real top heavy, or you just went, I know these guys have potential to go big on their day, and it just worked out that way?
So in the wing of fullback, I like to go a bit light but with that high upside. So that's why I've also got Brimson in winger fullback as well.
Yep.
So I look at that and I go, okay, well, Tamale's got centre winger fullback, so he can cover after this week. Brimson's a good loop at the moment.
Hmm.
And he played, I was at that Dolphins game and he played out of his skin.
Yeah.
So,
So
I
fast.
was like,
Oh,
whew. And, ideally, I'd also love to fit Jaden Campbell in, but we just can't fit everybody. So,
yep.
in the end, I don't mind. I'm very light at winger fullback, but it's not really bothering me much because between Brimson and Tamale, I'm backing Tamale to keep the spot without injury. I know Ricky absolutely loves Hopewade, but if you see Tamale play like
Yeah.
if he plays like he can, the I swear the milk supporters they'd riot if Ricky takes him out. It's like that kid he's special. But Marzu, I just love that try scoring opportunities, and they're looking great. They're they're scoring during like I know it's only preseason, but they just look like one of the really high scoring sides. The Knights. I don't know if their defense will
Mm.
back it up, but yeah, I expect a lot of points from that sort of left edge with Lucas and that.
Yep.
Iongi, you got to have. Everyone's got him.
Yeah. Tell us
So
about
if
Jack
you,
Bird, mate, while you're here. There's a few people asking about
oh,
taking him out and stuff.
again, one I've been putting in and out.
Yeah.
It depends where he's named.
Yep.
So if I see him named off the bench or at lock, I'm in.
Yep.
If I see him named at like centre or something like that, no way. Even though he could still go off. Like the man's got an offload and a tackle break, but this he didn't even get that many minutes the other day. And what was the first thing he did? Score a try.
Yeah. He looked really
Like,
fit. It's great to
he
see. Just
did.
there's
He
so many
did.
injuries.
Oh yeah, and the fact that he came out and openly said over the mic that I want the lock spot,
Mm.
like I'm gunning for it, and I went, okay, well, a coach will either like that and they'll love it or they'll hate it. So
Poor
we'll
Twali.
find out in the team lists.
What about Twali? He deserves a spot, mate. Well, he's picked
Yeah,
up a couple of tries now, so he's all right. He can
yeah. I don't
sail off
think
in the
Birdie and
sunset.
Twali will be sharing a beer anytime soon after that interview.
Yeah, fair.
I'm
Very
coming for
fair.
your spot, mate.
Yeah, that's for sure. Mate, Owen Paddy made the list. Is that just hoping that he gets more minutes across the season?
I'm backing the talent.
Yeah.
I've seen the kid, and I really think Ricky's never liked Starling. Like, well, from what I've seen, certainly minutes wise, he doesn't give him huge minutes. If Paddy can show the talent that he has, I really think that he could sort of force his way into more minutes as it goes on, especially if there's like an injury or something. Not
Yep.
necessarily to Starling either. Like he might even get some middle minutes.
Mm.
But yeah, I mean, I've got the money to upgrade to like one of the centers that's still there, if
Hey,
they get the
you
spot.
won't after Munster.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. But no, I don't know. Like, there's plenty 250K that are really, really good, but there's not many 230K. And I like him. I think he's really talented. And I
Mm.
think if there's an injury, he could end up a league winner. And if you've got him straight away, you've saved a trade.
Yep. That makes sense. And when you're saying about the injury there, then Starling, we've seen him play, through the middle as well. So Owen could go
Yeah,
into hooker and Starling could go there, which would be fun as
absolutely.
well. And look, if he gets 20 minutes early and he pushes up to like 30 minutes, he seems to score quick enough that he'll still
Yeah.
make you some money. And even if he never gets the spot, well, quick enough, he probably ends up at 300 or 310 or
Yeah.
like something not terrible
Worst
anyway.
case scenario, he'll make a little bit and you trade him off. So,
Yeah.
or even, when it comes to Origin time, if you've still got him, you never know who's going to play Origin and some minutes can open up.
Yeah. Yeah. We won't get Starling in Origin.
No, no, I meant more the
I
forwards,
know.
but yeah,
Yeah.
we'll see.
Or Big Red.
Horsburgh,
Maybe
yeah,
Big
big
Red.
red. I'm thinking.
Yeah. Still got to work out if he's going to be in my side. But yeah,
Oh,
Brimson's going to be fun.
it's tough not to have him. Like even when you look at what he averages at lock, like if he gets the minutes, he averages 50 plus at lock.
Yeah.
Not lock, sorry, prop. But
Mm.
yeah, I don't know if I can leave him out. Like with that
So
sort
many
of
options.
50K,
So many
it's
guys.
huge upside.
Yeah. No, that's awesome, mate. I like that there's a few slightly different picks in the side, and with Hopgood especially, I think he's not incredibly highly owned. Mate, what was the general thoughts on Hopgood? Is he just a player you love watching and seems like a bit of value as well?
Oh, well, funnily enough, some of my mates are friends with him from Toowoomba. So
Okay, there you go.
not only is he amazing, and I've sort of seen him play since he was a kid, but the minutes are there. If he can go in, he showed me offloads and that sort of thing. Like he hasn't stopped playing the game that he usually plays in the preseason in
Yeah,
those minutes he had. So I'm like, oh, offloads are 4 points each, and he's just so happy with them.
yeah.
Like I'd be just as happy to go Crichton for the
Mm.
same reason, but I feel like Hopgood's going to be in a better team this year, which
Should
sort
be.
of opens up bit extra.
Yeah. No, it's good. Hopefully his back's all good, man. That didn't sound like a fun one last year for sure.
Yeah.
And with RCG gone, there's definitely that. Well, he already had the big minutes, but there's more to share around. And I wonder who takes it. And I think he made 33 tackles in that first half the other day. So along with that offload that you're talking about, so very
Well,
fun one.
he's just so busy. He like looks for work. Like you'll never see him, even if he's played 70 minutes, he's not shying away from anything. He's still looking for tackles.
Mm,
So the bloke's a machine.
yeah, definitely.
Middle edge as well. There's not many in sort of the elite level of guns. You know, you've got your Yos, you've got your Haas, your even your Adam Fanua Blakes. They're all just middles. So like to get a middle edge that can score like them, I think gives you that flexibility as well. And it's sort of my cover in case Hosking decides to blow a kneecap or a calf again.
Easy now, easy now. Touch wood.
Fingers crossed he
Touch wood.
doesn't, guys.
Yeah, exactly. And mate, just as you're talking there, having a quick look at the amount of guns you got. Yours is seven compared to
Oh,
the people's squad. So seven, you've gone a little bit extra
well,
there, and you've only got
bit
the
heavy.
three guys in the 400s compared to the couple extra from our people squad as well. So slightly different strategy, and it's one that can work. They can both work. It just depends on how the mid ranges go. That strategy can be great. It can also backfire a little bit, and yeah, you've got the cash in some really strong positions that are fairly consistent. So I do personally expect you to start pretty well, Nath,
Oh,
and then
thanks,
you
mate. Appreciate
bring in Brimson to get you a
it.
60 in round two or something. So that
Oh,
sounds
mate,
fun,
he
mate.
scores so well at 5'8". Again, I'm taking injury possibilities for high upside.
Yeah. That's awesome, mate. Thanks so much, Nate, for coming on and being the spokesperson for the People's Crew, even though you weren't too fond of Tuolangi and Gilbert. But
Oh, I
yeah,
still like them. I just worry. They just
yeah,
worry me. That's all.
that's right. And that's where you've
Uh,
gone. You've got guys that you in your side that you're less worried about, and
yeah.
that's awesome. And yeah, some people, players are super keen on, and
Mm.
they see your team and they're like, oh, he hasn't got him. Oh, is there a worry? Like, should I not have this guy? It's like, no. Well, if you really like him, there's so many options. Get in there
Oh,
and
that's it. And
get amongst it.
back your system. Like
Yeah.
whatever you have, back yourself. Don't assume that you got to go with the crowd because it's usually someone who doesn't go with the crowd that wins it.
Oh, especially early on. Like we all
Yeah.
start terribly, so yeah, go a
Yeah,
bit
that's it.
different, and you can just adjust if it doesn't work out. So,
Exactly, brother.
Drunk Hammer Eight, I appreciate you coming on. What a name! And let us know in the
No
comments.
worries, brother.
Let us know in the comments,
Right.
guys, what you think of both the sides and which kind of strategy in terms of guns and that you would go with, and what you are going with, or what you think's better after seeing that. I hope that helps you guys in making your decisions, and look out for my Supercoach reveal and also my Vegas players reveal for fantasy.
Love it, mate. Thanks for having me.